Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Asian Pursuit Business Mastery. We are here with Vivian Lee. Vivian, welcome.
Welcome,
Hi.
Vivian.
Thank you.
So one of the reasons that Vivian is here today is because Vivian specializes a little bit in helping buyers who are coming to Canada for the first time, buying in Canada for the first time, specifically from places like China.
Yes.
And in Canada right now, our immigration is crazy. We have so many people moving to the city, and working with these types of buyers can be a little bit complex. So we're really happy that you tuned in today, because the big takeaway for you is going to be, as more and more people are moving to Canada for the first time, what are some tips and tricks to service them better, work with them a little bit better, and where should you be starting when you get that phone call? So Vivian, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Perfect. So Vivian, we were just joking and talking here, and you said it's your 20th year.
20 years, yes.
Wow, and that's in real estate overall?
Yes, whenever people ask me, how long have you been in Canada? I say, since 1997. And how long have you been a realtor? Since I immigrated to here, I became a realtor within 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So give us a bit of the history of how you became a realtor, what brought you to now, bit of a life journey.
Right.
You said you have a diverse one. So,
yeah. I met my husband during backpacking in China. So like fall in love at first sight. And then we separate. And so I live in Taiwan. Before that, I never visit Canada, never thinking about migration. So after 3 years, we decide to marry. And then we have our wedding in Taiwan. And it took me 6 months to prepare to move overseas. So I landed in November 1997. But after 2 months, we rented in the basement suite from father-in-law.
Oh, wow.
And after 1 month of my landing, calling my husband got laid off.
He lost his job.
He lost his job and no saving.
Wow.
And so we just found out we have no money to pay rent. So to me, it's really short and tight for me to get used to the new environment. And I also figure out he didn't apply anything after come back. So I'm still a visitor. My passport is still, I'm not landing immigrant yet. But we have to pay rent and we have to find a job. But I couldn't, as a foreigner, I couldn't work. I couldn't get any income. So, and if I go to take any course, because I need to get used to the English, I'm a foreigner, so I need to pay double.
Wow.
So I'm not plan or want to be a realtor at the beginning.
Yeah.
I just figure, I just find, I don't want
something you could do.
No, I don't want to pay double to learn English.
Oh,
so,
funny.
So I found out real estate 1,000. They charge you same money. It doesn't matter you're a foreigner or you're Canadian. And I look at the course, I was like, I can learn architecture, financing, lots of terms, lots of English. So I treat it as my ESL, learning my English, and I can get licensed during the time.
Because so many people learn English through architecture.
Yeah, through the real estate course, it's like,
No,
I mean, so much of the tests are reading comprehension.
Right. So and at that time, I know now you need to take 6 months or 1 year to get the license. At my time, I take a 3 weeks full-time course. And so that's only my second month or the third month in Calgary. So, and I'm like, my mood is I'm learning English, so I read every page. And I know that time the test is never from what teacher teaching, it's from the book.
Yes.
So only less than 5% people pass, and I'm the one who passed.
Wow.
Because I read page by page.
Wow.
That is incredible, Vivian.
So I didn't plan to be a realtor. I never be a salesperson. So I went to, and also my third month, so I'm new, I know nobody. I went to my first company, tried to interview to be a realtor. That's a land developer company, it's Asian owner. So she asked me, 2 questions. She say, how long have you been here? At that time, it's 4 months. I said, 4 months. And what's your relationship? I say, I only know my husband. So she say, sorry, you can go now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't want me. So I go to my next interview. I lost my confidence. So I say, I never be a salesperson. Could I be an assistant to help some busy realtor? But at that time, James Land at the Century 21 Bravo, he told me, since only less than 5% people pass this exam, why don't you try? You try 3 months. If you don't close any deal, you quit.
Yes.
So that's how I start. I start with totally no experience, only know my husband.
Wow.
Brand new here. I don't know the culture. I only know from my house to the office, the road.
I bet some people watching right now are feeling pretty bad about themselves.
But
that is incredible.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, for anybody that doesn't know Vivian, you are one of our most successful realtors. You've been one of our most successful realtors forever. So the story ends well, which is one of the reasons she's here today.
Right.
But so starting out, what did you do to meet people for the first time? Was it initially going to other people of your culture, speaking that language and working on transactions that way? Or how did you build that database?
Right. I'm also lucky. My first client showed up at the kind of first day I got my license. It's my roommates in Taiwan who's American. He called me. He said, my student's going to immigrate to Calgary. Can you helping her? And I just say, sure. And by the way, I got the license today.
Oh, no.
Then he know I have no money at that time, so he sent $100 US in the envelope. As that friend gave it to me, and he told that friend, if you don't trust Vivian, you don't trust anybody else in the world. So her family comes, stay at the motel. At the first day, they meet me, and I told them, I'm new. I'm brand new. This is my first day. Are you going to trust me? They say yes. So
well, you're very honest. The honesty is probably helpful.
Yes, I'm honest, and also that's really my first time. So I view every house before I show her. So I do double showing before I show her every house. So I'm lucky. The first week we closed the deal.
Wow.
And she start bring me lots of referral. And,
wow.
And
so isn't it funny that your network that you had
from new immigration,
yes. Paid dividends for you. So it's like you and your husband, but you actually knew somebody else that gave you a referral,
right?
And because you're trustworthy,
overseas, yes.
Yeah, and that's where I'm always reminding people that how you do anything is how you do everything. Like if you're a good person in every aspect of your life, when you make this transition over, and people know, like, and trust you,
right?
You just,
so
then you get the business.
Right.
That.
My first year customer is my base. So my database is just built from zero, from one by one. So my first, second, third, they are still my friends till now.
Wow.
So they're quite strong, and they bring me referral. My second customer buy 4 houses from me at the very beginning because.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're just bragging.
Yeah. So you started a team.
Yes.
So how many people do you have on your team right now?
Right now I have 4 licensed realtor, including me.
Perfect.
And 1 administration. Yes. Yeah.
And let's so we're going to kind of focus on the working with foreign buyer parts. Let's switch into that a little bit. So at a meeting that you and I were at last year, you were speaking about some of the different social media and different tools that you were using because you do work with so many foreign buyers.
Right.
So where right now are you working the most with people? Where do you feel people are coming from?
My majority customers referral, but we like to use WeChat. I know that's I'm kind of I have been 20 years, so I kind of catch the trend whenever it goes. So I took Lindsay's course. Every realtor love iPhone, iPad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, around 10 years ago. So I adapt a new trend quickly. So I most Chinese, because they cannot use Facebook and no Twitter. They kind of cut off the Western
Yeah, because it's
media.
blocked, like the Chinese
They
government blocks the servers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they have their own version, but similar to. So WeChat is very strong. It combines the function of Facebook, Twitter, or like WhatsApp.
Do you advertise on WeChat?
There's lots of like we call WeChat public site. The advertisement is quite expensive. I have my own media too. We post article weekly.
Nice.
For real estate.
So your own kind of social media
Yeah.
thread on WeChat that you
Yeah.
promote your business.
Yeah, and right now the live video or the WeChat iMovie is quite popular too. We start doing the video for community and how introduce house, and also we can create a story. We filmed in one show home for like a comedy.
Oh,
So
wow.
good comedy. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, but because we see that's a trend. The trend
Yes.
is people like to look at video more than.
And do you find that the people that are watching these videos are people who are currently living in Calgary and surrounding area, or people that are living in China, or both?
Both. The one in China, because if you send them information from the MLS, it's English. They don't understand.
Oh, the MLS information.
Right. And sometimes a Gmail or something is hard to receive, and lots of websites be blocked. So we do our own, and we put in the China's video, not YouTube. They cannot watch YouTube too.
Interesting. So being able to work with these buyers and attract these buyers, you've obviously had to completely switch the communication tools that you use.
Right. And they prefer to watch video, so they can catch the more than like if you send them the MS listing.
Yeah.
Interesting. So kind of, I guess the next question here is, why do you think, just because you work with so many people, and not just Chinese buyers, but lots of different type of first-time Canadians, why do people tell you they're moving here? What's their motivation?
For Asian group, the most important reason is for education, for their next generation. Their overall focus is they want their kids to have the best education. And in China, it's too much competition, too many people. So they will spend all the money to send their kids out to have a good education. So those schools, like my focus area will be those have a top rank school area.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you are very knowledgeable on the school system.
Yeah. So every year we have to look at the Fraser Institute, the rank, top 1 to top 10. We're kind of know the trend. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's great. So when people come here, first of all, so the majority of your buyers are coming from China.
Majority, are
they Mandarin speaking?
Right.
Is that correct?
Right.
So when you're doing your videos and things like that, it's in Mandarin.
Mandarin speaking, and I do seminar too, like once a month to educate them.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Mandarin.
In Mandarin, yes.
Okay, that's outstanding. That's outstanding.
Right.
So when people come here, what now? You said the schools, they're looking for schools, but what are the most common challenges that they end up facing when they come to Canada?
Right. The challenge is still the different culture, and language is really the most barrier.
Right.
So they will be comfortable to speak their own language. Yeah.
Do they? Yeah. What percentage of people coming typically speak English versus not? Or, I mean, that's a bit of a loaded question.
I know,
but based on your experience, totally anecdotal. Do most of them speak English, or most of them not?
They can speak English, but not that good, because most people come to Calgary, they are in the oil field. So they may read or write well, but they cannot talk well. So
I studied Italian forever,
Yeah.
and I could read Italian very well. And if I had to write somebody a letter,
Yeah.
I could do it. But
Yeah.
the same, to have the confidence
Yeah.
to speak to somebody and conjugate verbs
Right.
properly is
Yeah.
tough. So
Yeah.
I understand that. So as far as what your role in helping these people build some sort of a sense of community,
Right.
you do a lot more than just help somebody buy and sell a home.
Right.
It's helping somebody live here and establish some roots. So in terms
Yeah.
of providing contacts, information, resources, what is your role in that?
my role,
Probably a lot.
a lot, yeah. At the beginning, before we have iPhone tablet, I think that I am their yellow page. Like,
Wow.
they always call me and say, can you give me whose phone number? I mean, from haircut, facial, marriage consultant, divorce lawyer. So they even joke, say you should do from kids born, like from baby to funeral.
Oh yeah,
Arrange
yeah.
everything for us. Yeah, so I'm their yellow page, and like even if the couple are fighting or something, they all call me. And
Wow.
I receive lots of phone calls, even there, I don't know them, they're a stranger, and they just call and ask questions. But I don't care, I just answer. And I don't mind, I know them or I remember them.
Yeah.
So whoever call me, I answer them. Yeah.
And that's probably
Became
your
the-
business is so
yeah.
incredibly built on referrals. That's one thing that I know about you. So what
Right,
a way to build that.
Right, and it's kind of my natural too.
Yeah.
Naturally, I like to help people.
So the services that people need most is sort of the day-to-day services like
Right.
doctors, dentists,
Yeah.
salons. You said like
There's a joke, even one couple cannot have baby, cannot come, they call me, I heard you know how to help me. I say, no, I don't. Go
were
to
you
see
teaching
doctor.
the birds and the bees, or were you just
Oh, God, really?
Yes.
It's just we can't conceive. Can you help?
And they are East Indian couple. And they heard from their office mate say, call Vivian. she can. I said, no, not calling me.
Oh,
I
that's
can't.
funny.
That's new for full service, right? That is something.
But
That's incredible.
But it's true because I mean, realtors become this resource. Like we tell people to know your community, help them with the various restaurants, what
Yeah,
school districts
yeah.
they should be in, how to get
Restaurant,
registered for
everything,
schools.
yeah.
Like it's so important for the realtors watching to recognize that anybody coming to a new city, you just got to start that whole
Yeah.
Resource center,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
Google's available now, but
Right.
people still are looking for trusted referrals.
Yeah.
Personal recommendation. And
That's
you're
right.
right. For you to be the first person that somebody spends that much
Very
time
first,
with,
yes.
that's the first established
Right.
relationship they have.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weight on that relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So-
bet.
So now now they don't use phone, so they just text me on WeChat. So I'm on the WeChat a lot to answer questions.
That's fun. Now, do you have a list of providers that you use, or is it sort of off the top of your head now? Like
Top of my head.
Top of your
yeah,
head, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
this wasn't on these questions here, but in terms of where people live in the city, and maybe answer this a little bit more broadly than just
Right.
kind of your Chinese buyers and sellers,
Mm-hmm.
but people who are here for the first time,
Right.
are there certain communities or certain parts of the city where you just know have different demographics and you'll
Yes.
try and, or by a cultural center, or does that play into where you help people house hunt?
Yeah, like I say, their major concern is education. So they normally will go to the top top school ranking area.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
give me some examples of those right now.
Uh,
Some top school ranking areas.
Yeah, like for high school, they want to go to St. Vincent Churchill High or Western Canada for
Okay.
public school, and because the IB program.
So
The
Churchill
housing,
or
yeah,
Or
St.
Western.
Vincent-
or Western.
Yeah,
And they,
Western Canada.
they have the International Baccalaureate program.
Right,
IB program,
right. That's for public school, and after like stay 10 years, 20 years, now they are the new immigration. They are richer, so as soon as they come, they want to send their kids to private school. So that's why Aspen Hill became very popular, Springbank area, yeah.
Okay,
Because
which
of
which
access
school?
To the private high school.
Because the number one private school is Weber,
Okay.
and Rondo is all there.
Weber?
Yeah, yeah.
Weber, yeah.
Weber
Weber
and Rundle.
Academy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and people are specifically moving to those areas to have access to those high schools.
For private school, you don't have to live in the area, but they don't want a long transportation to school every day.
Interesting. So, would people rather have a short commute for their children to school than
Yes.
a shorter commute to their jobs?
Yeah, kids is more important. The parents can take a long
Yeah.
1
That's
hour to
incredible.
work, but their kids, they wish they can be in walking distance. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
beautiful.
That's how they take care of their
the
kids.
so the family values are very, very,
Very,
big.
and they for the next generation, most parents prepare their down payment. So not like me, I need to pay my rent.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so in terms of kind of the next group of people you help, it'll be this generation's
Parents
children.
pay for them.
Oh.
Yeah. Now because it's my 20 years, I'm helping next generation now, and most parents prepare their
The down payments.
sometimes not even down payment, the whole thing.
So
I know
help me
it's
out.
quite good.
Yeah, help me out with something here. And I'm trying to understand this. So when we look at like China and different areas of the world, like that's a huge deal to have the money to afford to uproot to move here. 'Cause like that's not everybody in China doesn't have that kind of money to move and come over here and have that. We're going to talk about financing here in a second.
Right.
What industries? And you said it's typically oil and gas that you see people coming over?
Yes.
Okay.
But the story is 20 years ago, it's a huge financial burden to come here. So people, and when they immigrate, they need to go to a restaurant to be the waitress or doing those jobs. But now, because of China real estate booming too much,
Right.
so one condo they sell in Beijing, they can buy 3 luxury homes here in cash.
Really?
Really?
So what's the average price home in Beijing?
When over million, over 1 million Canadian. So when they come here now, they look at our
And
house
that's for a
price.
condo
Yeah.
in Beijing.
Oh yeah, you won't get a single house.
Wow.
Yeah. But because my friend, she's a musician, play erhu. For those, you won't think they can make lots of money, right? She told me her condo, if she sold her condo, she can buy 3 of my house. I live in Bearspaw, 2 acres. I use my 20 years saving.
Wow.
So now it's not a huge.
So if you own real estate in China, in one of the larger cities, moving over here is a lot.
It's easy.
Financially affordable.
Yeah.
And very easy now.
So they can easily use
Interesting.
cash. Yeah.
I'm always wondering. It's like is
Yeah.
everybody coming over just with a bunch of money?
It's
but
because the
real
house
estate.
value. It's not because
Okay.
they have to be a big company or business.
Invest in real estate
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
in China.
I hope that I'm not asking a question I know nothing about, but I think it's China. But are there certain rules about how much money you're able to take out of the country?
Right.
So if you have that much money in cash and you need to take 1.5 million out of China to purchase, how do they do that?
It's quite restricted recently, so it will be a big issue.
Right.
Now the money cannot come out. So, but for the past, every year they can, like a family member, each member can send certain amount.
Okay.
So if every family plus relative help, then you can get your down payment.
So there's some strategies around
Yeah,
how to.
but I believe it's harder and harder. So kind of this will be shrink Chinese market since last year, this year, because their policy, they are kind of.
That's what I've heard. They're trying to keep the money in the country.
Yeah. So, but my business, because I'm 20 years, I still got lots of local customer. So
Totally.
it's not only based on the new immigration or overseas.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So let's talk about financing overall.
Right, right.
Are they buying houses cash, or what are they typically doing, and what options are available?
Well, and then maybe if I can just break that down into 2 different. So one would be financing for people moving here for the first time.
Right.
But the second question would be for the clients that you have here, are there any cultural differences in how they like to get financing? Do they prefer cash? Do they prefer? So maybe answer both.
Okay. For the new immigration with no credit can be checked. The bank rule is as long as you pay 35% down payment,
Right.
We don't worry about that because we know you won't.
So 35%, you have enough equity in the home.
Before.
We're willing to lend
Yeah.
money.
But now the bank will still have more want to provide some source of income from China. But before they don't ask any question. So at the very beginning, I even help him buyer who never come here, just overseas. Because when I start, we can assume mortgage too.
Right.
So
Yes,
that's how I
absolutely.
buy mine too. We can assume we can have like my mother-in-law to apply, and then we assume. But then we cannot. So as long as they put 35%, they don't ask any question. But probably now they still want to provide income letter,
Right.
but they don't go and qualify to find out if it's true.
Right.
They
It's
just
still
need a
easier.
letter.
They ask
Yeah,
some questions,
still
but
easy,
it's not
yeah.
as stringent
Right,
as
right.
you would see with 35%.
Right. For new immigration.
Right.
Yeah. And for like lots of young students, they are buying house too, because I say the parents will help. And now they want the parents be a guarantor. But
Got it.
before probably 35, they don't ask. Yeah.
So
Right.
now even if a student has 35% down payment, they want
Parents-
the parents to be a
guarantor.
guarantor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And for people that are living here, in terms of how they're getting qualified,
Right.
do they prefer to do cash deals or is financing?
Because people who immigrate to Calgary, they are not as rich as people who go to Vancouver. So they still go work, and so they will prefer 20% down payment.
Right.
Because they don't want to pay the high ratio insurance fee. And that's
Right.
kind of, so I seldom deal with high ratio. So
Okay.
for my case, less than 1%.
So these mortgage rules,
Yeah.
have you noticed that they've affected
Still
the
affect.
business? Yes.
Still affect. Because affect with the one who is not new immigration.
Right.
If they are here more than 3 or 5 years, they're treated as they're not new immigrant. But then you have to have income.
Right.
That's for the new rule.
Right.
Before if they pay 40, 50% down, bank will lend them. But last year we have one deal, and both the husband be laid off, the wife don't have job, but they have 3 houses, and they can pay 50%. The bank say no. We are
What?
very shocked because
50%.
yeah,
And the bank said no.
yeah, because they cannot provide income source. And that's the first time, because we almost, whenever it's go to competing offer, for my client, I normally told them, because our down payment so high, let's take away the financial condition to make us more competitive.
Yes.
But since last year, I afraid to do that because lots of new shock to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
Wow.
adapting the same as everybody else is to some of the changes.
I'll be more careful
Yes.
to ask them to remove that condition.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So have there been people that are just living at home longer? Are you seeing more families stay together longer before the children are purchasing on their own? Is that
Right, right.
Yeah.
My team, Amy, she's going to move out now this year. She was still with parents.
Yeah.
Well, that's cultural. We see
that's
that a lot.
culture, yeah.
Of the families staying together a lot longer.
Right.
Coming home. So
Till married.
yeah, I got a few friends that did the exact same thing, and that's.
Oh yeah, well you can save up some more money, right? Especially now with the new mortgage rules too. Like you need to save up more money. That's tough.
What do you notice between? And now this is a broad question. It's not on the
Right.
questions here, but when you're working with a Canadian
Right.
versus someone from China, are there any stark attitude differences
Oh,
towards
yeah.
purchasing? What can you talk to us?
Oh yeah.
Talk us through that a little bit. What are some of
have-
the differences way that
Yeah.
they approach the situation?
I have one Canadian couple, Caucasian, be with me like over 15 years too. And the reason they asked me to be their realtor, they said because they co-couple realtors, and I'm the one response quickly and
Right.
answer them quickly. So the huge difference, I feel I provide them very few service, not a lot, but they feel so thankful, and they feel you do so much for them, and they don't ask for cut commission or any discount.
Right.
And I know for my side, the culture, I need to do double, triple, lots of things for them, and I need to make less money, but I need to work a lot harder. I noticed 1 year I'm the top 1 in Northwest, and top 2 is Raymond Co. But I look at the transaction. I'm doing like 60 transactions. He's doing about 30 something. But I kind of know I need to do double.
Right.
Then, yeah.
So not to talk, I don't
Sure.
want to talk about commissions, and
Right,
we can't
right.
talk about that. They're
Right.
always negotiable.
Okay.
But as a broad statement,
Mm-hmm.
do you find that when you are working with your non-Caucasian clients,
Right.
that the negotiation and
Mm-hmm.
offering some value in terms of what you're charging, that's something that is just to be expected. Like that's always a conversation. They expect you to have that conversation, which with Wirches, some of you are more Canadian clients, it's this is the price, and they're like, okay. Like
yeah, because the Caucasian, they ask me, can I bargain? I said, for sure. They want to put full price at the beginning. So the huge difference is,
That's not like the price of the home. They're just like, oh, is there room for negotiation? You're like,
I really love a Caucasian buyer, but I didn't market myself there because I know the culture difference.
Yes.
My comfort zone is still my own culture because I know I can lead them. But for your question, I do set up my own rule at a long time ago because I know if I'm doing so long, I don't want to have a different rule, different commission. And one day I met them, I forgot what I told them. So I kind of make it same and equal, fair to everybody. But I know I won't make a full commission because our culture is so competing and they don't expect you make that much. But I try to make them believe you can see I'm doing so much work.
Yeah, the value.
And you won't argue with my value. And they know I don't charge high too. So they kind of respect what I have done for them.
Yeah. That's great.
That's very good. Yeah, no, thank you for answering that. I know I have a lot of friends from many different countries.
Right.
And some of them say, if you didn't negotiate a price, you wouldn't even know who you're talking to. Like it's just so part of the culture. It doesn't matter if you're buying an apple or a house or a haircut.
Right.
It's just, and it's not it's not disrespectful. It's just part of the buying process that everybody's comfortable with. Where here, it's very different, right? So if somebody says this is the price, and we just say, okay, right? This is the price of the TV in a store. We buy it. You go somewhere else. This is the price of a TV. They'd be shocked if you didn't ask to do something with it. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's the tough part. Yeah.
So let's, I know you talked a bit about WeChat, some of the video stuff. Is there any other marketing efforts that you've seen in your business that have worked better than others?
Yeah, right now I stopped my newspaper from last year. The traditional, I get kind of turned into only WeChat and internet advertisement. Yeah.
So you no longer do print advertising anymore?
Well,
No.
in the newspaper.
Newspaper I stopped, yeah.
And
But that's when I begin. That's how I attract because I know nobody.
Right.
So I use that for long, 15 years. Yeah.
So now, as far as paid advertising that you do on the internet, do you do anything in a place other than WeChat, or do you focus all of your paid advertising on WeChat?
I moved to WeChat only from last year because my team, one of my team, Charles, he's helping me for marketing. And he look at and he take a Lindsay's course and he will watch the people who hit your site, and then he kind of told me we can stop this, that, and so we kind of focus only on WeChat. But we plan to advertise on more bigger, there's a WeChat, they have their own site who get more fans. More people will look at the news or article, and then their advertisement will be quite high. Yeah.
And in Calgary, I don't expect you to know this answer, but if you had to guess, obviously, WeChat is kind of an Asian type platform.
Right.
But are there a ton of Calgarians and a ton of Canadians that are also on there?
Some Canadian,
they
are on there.
Like your clients that are in Calgary that are Chinese.
Oh yeah, they all on. It's like everybody has ID now. Like you have your driver license.
Yeah.
So everybody has WeChat ID.
Really? So for people in Calgary focusing on that type of market,
you
have to have WeChat.
Yeah, from kids to grandparents.
Wow.
Yeah.
They all have one.
Is there any other nationalities that are using WeChat as well, or is it primarily China?
Primarily China, but I mean now if I travel in Asia, they all use that.
Okay.
So
even like
Philippines,
Indonesia,
Taiwan.
yeah, last year and they can like WeChat Pay, it's like PayPal, and so in China right now, if you don't use WeChat Pay or another pay by Alibaba thing, like the street vendor, they don't use cash no more, and the
Yeah, I heard that
taxi
you
driver.
pay with WeChat.
Everything.
Wow.
And taxi, I'm so surprised because last year we have a roadshow in China to try to promote our project. We found we are really from countryside. they call the taxi by, it's more like our
Uber?
Uber, but when you call the Uber, they told you how much already. And when you sit in, you get out, you don't need to
pay. Cash, yeah.
Your money go to their account already.
Yes.
When you order.
Yes.
And as soon as you arrive, the money sent to the taxi driver.
Oh, interesting. That's great.
And even in the restaurant eating, after they order, we laugh. We say, we don't pay? They said, we pay already by WeChat. So, huh?
So you don't even look at a bill? It's
No.
just, they just know this
After
is
you order and the
you
bill.
give them your WeChat ID? Do they ask for your, how do they even know?
By barcode.
Do they ask you for it?
They scan your
No,
barcode.
it's everything it's on the menu. That's how you order food. And and you just leave. Then we say, then in the future, if everybody wants to try to say, I buy this bill, then how do you? They say they know that when you sit down, then they use their WeChat to pay already.
Wow, that's so interesting.
It is. And street vendor too. Just sell one ice cream, milk. You have to use WeChat, no cash.
Wow.
That's fascinating.
So let's a couple more questions to finish it up here. What advice would you give someone who has a client new to Canada?
Yeah, my advice is because I've been the new immigrant and
Yes.
I know how I know the feeling. So for me, I will treat them very fair. I won't sell them anything higher than the market value because they are new.
Yeah.
That's my principle. So because I want them to know they can trust me, I must, I give them lots of advice. Even because they are new, I need to educate them more. I let them know like you're not new here, you will know everything if I will teach you everything. And so you won't find out after a couple of years that you are paying more than local. That's my advice and that's my principle too. So like my first year customer till now, 20 years, they will tell me, you didn't change. You are still same as 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I
Than
think
be more
that
knowledge.
advice is really good because you're right, and not because most people would take advantage,
Right.
but I guess it's very easy for somebody to take. Just like sometimes I've gone to another country and you know you're not the local person, so
They try
somebody
to
will
sell you higher. Yeah.
totally right.
Yeah.
Like and that just happens. So I guess
Right.
you're right to say we need to be extra fair and cautious with
Right.
you because you don't know, and you're
Yeah.
more of a trusted advisor than ever because they
Right.
don't have the information
So
to rely on.
I will point out the thing you shouldn't buy. Even they want to put an offer, if I don't think that's good, I let them know. And
Just because business is done differently.
yeah. And because I know I will be in the business for long, I won't move out because my family is here. So I just want them, I don't want them to come back and tell me why I pay more or something. So I will be very proud, like I can be.
You
like,
can justify every piece of
everybody
advice that you've given.
Yeah, and every house I purchase, every customer I treat them as my own family. So I will think about if I want my family, my friend, buy this house with this price, and then I want them. So I won't like buy them something I don't think is fair or is worth the value. Yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So last question.
Sure.
Last question. You come from such a cool background, and I say cool because you've triumphed over it. You didn't know anybody.
Right.
You came here. What advice would you give someone now who is looking to drum up business? They might not be new to the business. They might be looking to get reignited. What advice would you give someone looking to get things going again?
I like to learn. Even I'm 20 years, I still look at the CIR education calendar every month, and I check which course I never take, I never go to. So my advice is never stop learning.
Yeah.
So I take the new trend. I adjust myself quickly. Like I start when I was young, but now I still don't want to be like not catch the most up-to-date trend or media or any method. So I really like Lindsay's course. Yeah, I took a. Yeah, but most course I've been taking, so I didn't come to his course recently. But I told to my team, never think you know enough, you learn enough. Yeah,
that's a very good point. And sometimes going to a class or attending something, even if you think you don't need it, it'll give you the little bit of motivation to make that phone call or send that email, or it'll give you an idea. You know what? I should pick up the phone and call this person. Because maybe they don't know that this exists, or just something.
Right. I told myself every seminar or every course I attend, I only try to remember one thing, pick out one thing, and use it.
And you do it.
Use it. Yeah. Yeah. Like I took a Richard
Robbins
course. Every time I pick out one thing, like the video things I pick up from last year, because he showed the realtor doing the video, like cooking in the kitchen, bath in the bathtub, so I feel it's fun. And then we do the iMovie, yeah. And one time he showed No,
absolutely not.
I remember one time he showed a slideshow. It's a group of zebra with one giraffe, and he say, "You want to be the zebra or the giraffe?" So after that course, I decide I want to focus on feng shui or staging because that's our culture, and I don't want to be just
everybody.
Like everybody.
Yeah.
So I kind of made myself specialized, and then they come to me, want me helping them, because I know I can do something other realtor can't. Yeah.
That's great, Vivian. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for being with us. Vivian's story is the thing I love about you the most is you are so humble. And you are so happy. Vivian just came back from a meditation course where she couldn't look at anybody, talk to anybody.
No talk, no look, yeah.
Only 2 meals before
For
noon.
10 days.
You are just
this time only
incredible.
3 days.
Oh, 3 days, okay.
New student must be 10 days, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
That one is, that one's like a surgery. So I said, no more 10 days.
Like a surgery.
10 days, fine, yeah.
Wow.
3 days.
Amazing. You are such a successful business person, and you help so many people, and you are so calm and peaceful to be around. So there's lots of people can take away from you. So we're lucky to have you, and thank you for sharing your story with us. We appreciate it, Vivian.
Awesome.
Welcome.
We also want to give a big shout out to Craft Beer Market for letting us use their space on 10th Avenue Southwest here to shoot this. And don't forget to check out agentpursuit.com. Follow us on Facebook and or follow us on Instagram, I guess, and like us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Vivian.
Thank you.